The Ricky Thornton Jr. SSI Hudson O'Neal situation is finally settled. We'll talk about that. Plus, Gio Scelzi gets a big win. Daison Pursley is rolling. And what's coming up this weekend? Let's go. It's Thursday, July 11th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is Dirt Tracker Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Before we get into today's show, just a quick request from me to you, and if you enjoy the content we put out 5 days a week, please consider subscribing to the channel or the podcast. Both are free to do, always will be. My 2024 goal is 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, and with still about half the year to go, we're at just shy of 33,000. It's going to be close, but I think we can definitely do it. The final piece to the dirt late model puzzle we've been following this week fell into place yesterday afternoon. The split of Ricky Thornton Jr. and SSI Motorsports has been the P1 story all week. And as of yesterday, RTJ finally has his new home. Starting with this week's Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series events, Thornton will join Kohler Motorsports to pilot a Longhorn chassis. This was something I had heard about the kind of 24 hours leading up into the announcement, but this is one of those I wasn't quite sure if this is what was happening or not, so I didn't, I kind of mentioned yesterday I had heard some stuff. I didn't really want to spill the beans because I don't know how much I trust some of this stuff, but indeed, he did end up at Kohler Motorsports. And he's bringing sponsors Hoker Trucking, Coltman Farms, plus his relationship with Longhorn and Bilstein with him. As this transition happens over the next few weeks, RTJ will drive a number 114 car that is Jordan Kohler's number before his new 20 RT wraps are ready to go. The team had planned on racing with Jordan on the Southern Nationals Tour until this kind of late change. I shared this photo to Facebook yesterday, which is actually Jordan's car. This should give us at least some idea of what Thornton's car will look like for the next 2 weeks effectively until they've got everything kind of wrapped up here. Jordan and Evan Kohler will continue racing late models out of the team shop, and this change does not affect Jimmy Owens, who has been with the Kohlers for a while now as well. It's going to be interesting, though, as you'll have Jimmy in a Rocket chassis and RTJ in a Longhorn. Now, I'm not sure how much information they'll be able to share back and forth, if any at all, but you're going to have two really great drivers in this shop. Thornton will continue to chase the Lucas and Flow Series championships. RTJ will be joined by crew chief Kenny Payton, who has been working already with the Kohlers. As we talked about earlier this week, Thornton has a pretty big cushion in the Lucas standings, both in the lead and then down to fourth for that final chase spot. So this team has time to get, kind of its legs underneath it. I think there's way less pressure on this side versus SSI and O'Neal. And even though this is a family operation, I think the addition of Owens has brought them along quite a bit over the last year or two. So, Thornton isn't exactly stepping into, something small here. As long as the weather plays nice, we'll see where things stack up tonight at 34 Raceway and then Saturday at Wheatland. That Friday Lucas race at Tri-City has already been rained out. With so much racing coming up, I do think that will be a positive for RTJ and this Kohler team. A bunch of chances to get him comfortable. And I definitely think these kind of two sides, these two situations are a bit opposite right now. Thornton with this big lead, he's got time to settle in, but O'Neal trying to get back in the Lucas Championship fight and being the guy replacing the guy, he really needs to be fast out of the gate. It should be an intriguing next 2 weeks on tour with the Lucas late models. And if you're curious as well, here's a look at O'Neal's wrap for SSI. This was shared to Huddy's Facebook page yesterday. That same blue and white that we were used to with Ricky Thornton Jr., but definitely the addition of O'Neal's sponsors and that number 71. You can tell also that O'Neal and SSI have probably been taking quite a bit of heat over this whole deal, as commenting was turned off on this wrap Facebook post from O'Neal. If you want even more late model racing coming up, the World of Outlaws have 3 stops this weekend. They're going to be at Bedford tonight and then Friday and Saturday at Sharon. Brandon Shepard, Nick Hoffman clearly out front in the standings right now. Bobby Pierce still trying to claw his way back into the fight. Also, good stuff lately from Ryan Gustin and Brian Shirley. And Max McLaughlin had been on a heater as well, but he struggled a bit at Deer Creek. You've also got the Southern Nationals starting up. You got Beckley and With. Both of those are paying $10,000 to win. And you got Volunteer on Sunday. Summer Nationals begins to wrap up. They've got Butler tonight, Crystal on Friday, Oakshade on Saturday, Wayne County on Sunday. And yes, I know I had the days confused on yesterday's show. The way they timed the rainout releases just threw my brain into a complete screw up there. There's also plenty of other scattered regional action. You got Wissota at Hibbing, Southern All-Stars at Thunder Hill, and more. And don't sleep on the USMTS Mod Wars at Ogilvie. That starts tonight. Saturday there is 11,000 to win. Everybody chasing Jake Tim right now in that USMTS championship. On the sprint car side, the national tours are rolling again after the week off, and last night it was the World of Outlaws back to kick things off at Beaver Dam. We had a good early battle between Buddy Kofoid and Emerson Axsom, and then it was all Gio Scelzi from lap 15 on. Outlaw win number 3 on the year for Scelzi and Kofoid and Axsom on the night's podium. It was a career best run for Axsom. He's clearly just getting started figuring out wing sprint cars. Plenty more good stuff to come from him in the future. For Gio, we know he can be consistent. We've seen that the last 2 seasons. That's kept him in the mix here this season with David Gravel, Carson Macedo, and Donnie Schatz. But if he's really going to contend for the title come World Finals, he's got to find his way to the very front of these fields just a little bit more. And we saw that last night. This is his most Outlaw wins in a season so far in his career, and I think he probably needs to get to maybe 6 or 7 this year. And he's got to get that average finish down just a little bit more into the 5s to really start to apply some pressure here. I like what I'm seeing, though. 2 wins in 7 races, maybe just a little bit of momentum here coming into a very important part of the season. Coming up this weekend, they've got 2 nights at Wilmot in Wisconsin. And on Saturday, you will have the 2 series up against each other with High Limit at Portsmouth for $25,000 a win. We haven't seen the Kubota High Limit sprint cars since that rain-shortened weekend at Lucas Oil Speedway at the end of June. Brad Sweet has continued to stretch away from Tyler Courtney in the standing. Sunshine is the most recent series winner, though. Sweet, up to this point, 21 top 5s, 25 top 10s in 26 races to go along with 6 victories. Your 5 charter teams at the moment are the KKR 49, Sunshine 7BC, Brent Marks 19, the Jason Myers 14 for Corey Day, and Rico Abreu 24. Justin Peck still there in the mix in 6th, but the gap's starting to widen a bit to Spencer Basin in 7th, and everybody kind of down past that. Portsmouth had been a staple of the All-Star schedule, most recently being in a big spot during Ohio Sprint Speed Week. Brent Marks won the last 2 All-Star features there. After this weekend, we'll see the 2 series converge again next week, as I'd imagine you'll see at least some high-limit teams run Attica on Tuesday for the Brad Doty Classic, and then everybody will be together for the 4 split nights of the Kings Royal weekend coming up at Eldora. Plenty of drama and fireworks to come here. With the USAC midgets, we've now had 3 straight Daison Pursley victories as he won again last night at the Mitchell County Fairgrounds. Logan Seavey had issues again, finished 19th, just falling further and further behind. Justin Grant led laps. He also had problems late, ended up 16th. Pursley led the final 10 laps, topped Thomas Meseral, who was an early leader as well, and Jerry Coons Jr. It was the first podium result in USAC competition for Coons in 2 years. He is down, though, to just a handful of midget starts this season. Pursley takes his growing championship advantage into Jefferson County Friday and Saturday. We'll call it good there for the Daily Show for today and for the week. Certainly appreciate everybody that continues to tune in on the regular. Drop me a comment. Let me know what your racing plans are for the coming weekend. And hope you guys have a great Thursday out there, a great weekend. And we'll see you right back here on Sunday.